Hello. Good strategy, bad strategy, the difference and why it matters. And that's the title of a book by Richard Rumelt. Now, these videos are about business strategy and long-term value. And why listen to Richard Rumelt? Richard graduated with a doctoral degree from Harvard Business School, and he is the professor of business and society at UCLA, and is widely recognized throughout the world as one of the most influential thinkers on strategy. I didn't come across him until 2011 when I read his book, this sort of black and white book, Good Strategy, Bad Strategy, the difference and why it matters. This morning I'm going to read from a paragraph from his book that addresses the central point, as far as he's concerned, of strategy. And it's called Overwhelming Obstacles. So when you're faced with overwhelming obstacles, what do you do as a leader? In 1805, England had a problem. Napoleon had conquered big chunks of Europe and planned the invasion of England. But to cross the Channel, he needed to wrest control of the sea away from the English. Off the southwest coast of Spain, the French and Spanish combined fleet of 33 ships met the smaller British fleet of 27 ships. The well-developed tactics of the day were for the two opposing fleets to each stay in line, firing broadsides at each other. But the British Admiral, Lord Nelson, had a strategic insight. He broke the British fleet in two columns and drove them at the Franco-Spanish fleet, hitting their line perpendicularly. The lead British ships took a great risk, but Nelson judged that the less trained Franco-Spanish gunners would not be able to compensate for the heavy swell of the day. At the end of the Battle of Trafalgar, the French and Spanish lost 22 ships, 2/3 of their fleet. The British lost none. Nelson was mortally wounded, becoming in death Britain's greatest naval hero. Britain's naval domination was ensured and remained unsurpassed for a century and a half. Nelson's challenge was that he was outnumbered. His strategy was to risk his lead ships in order to break the coherence of his enemy's fleet. With coherence lost, he judged, the more experienced English captains would come out on top in the ensuing melee. Richard says good strategy almost always looks this simple and obvious, and does not, wait for this, and does not take a thick deck of PowerPoint slides to explain. It does not pop out of some strategic management tool, matrix, chart, triangle, or fill in the blank scheme. Instead, a talented leader identifies the one or two critical issues in the situation, the pivot points that can multiply the effectiveness of effort, and then focuses and concentrates action and resources on them. And there's one final comment, but I want to ask you, if you like the content of these videos, to subscribe. It's the red button in the bottom right hand corner, or the Z logo that comes across the screen towards the end. Okay, the final comment from Richard, and sort of a tip for us all. Despite the roar of voices wanting to equate strategy with ambition, leadership, vision, planning, or the economic logic of competition, strategy is none of these. The core of strategy work is always the same: discovering the critical factors in a situation and designing a way of coordinating and focusing actions to deal with those factors. Thank you.